Hey everyone, what is up? And welcome back to my channel. And tonight, we're tackling a universal struggle, insomnia. If you're here right now, staring at this video in the wee hours of the morning, you're probably desperate for some shut-eye. Over the years, I've dealt with my fair share of sleepless nights, experimenting with different tricks and techniques to finally get some rest. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 of my personal tips that have actually helped me beat insomnia. Just a heads up though, these are things that have worked for me, but everyone's different. Alright, tip number 1 to conquer those sleepless nights is all about creating the perfect sleep environment. And for me, that starts with temperature. Have you ever noticed how much harder it is to fall asleep when you're too hot? It's like your body just won't cooperate. That's why I always make sure my room is nice and cool before I even think about getting into bed. Personally, I like to crank up my fan to at least level 3. If you're not a fan person, pun totally intended, then consider setting your AC to around 20 degrees Celsius. It might sound a little chilly, but trust me, that slightly cooler temperature can make a world of difference when it comes to drifting off easily. Think about it. When you're cozy under the covers, that cooler air makes you feel like you're snuggled up in a comfy cocoon. So, ditch the stuffy, sleep-stealing heat and embrace the cool side. Moving on to tip number 2, and this one is a game changer, guys. If you want to improve your sleep, you need to ditch the screens at least 2 hours before bed. Those bright screens are like sleep kryptonite. They emit blue light, which messes with our natural sleep-wake cycle, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. I used to be glued to my phone in bed, scrolling through social media or catching up on emails, and it totally wrecked my sleep. But once I started implementing a digital detox before bed, I noticed a huge difference. Instead of staring at a screen, I started reading a book, taking a relaxing bath, or just chatting with my family. It might sound tough at first, but I promise you, your sleep will thank you for it. Give it a try for a week and see for yourself. Okay, tip number 3 might seem counterintuitive, especially if you're feeling exhausted, but hear me out. Avoid napping in the afternoon, no matter how tempting it might be. I used to be the king of afternoon naps, but I realized they were totally sabotaging my nighttime sleep. Think of it this way. Napping in the afternoon throws off your body's natural sleep rhythm. If you absolutely must nap, keep it short and sweet, like 20 minutes max. And set an alarm, because trust me, it's way too easy to fall into a deep sleep and wake up feeling even groggier than before. Tip number 4 is all about working with your body's natural sleep patterns, especially if you're someone who tends to naturally sleep in later. Now, I know not everyone fits into the typical 9 to 5 schedule, and that's totally okay. We all have different chronotypes, which basically means our bodies are wired to sleep and wake at different times. If you find yourself naturally waking up later in the morning, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The key here is to listen to your body and figure out what works best for you. Embrace your natural rhythm, and you'll find it much easier to get a good night's rest. Alright guys, we've arrived at my final and, dare I say, most powerful tip for beating insomnia. Tap into the power of sound and nostalgia. For me, it's all about finding audio or music that evokes strong feelings of comfort, relaxation, and happy memories. It could be anything from childhood lullabies to songs that remind you of your favorite vacation, or even soundtracks from video games you used to play. The key is to choose something that takes you back to a carefree and happy time in your life. When you listen to these sounds as you're trying to sleep, it's like you're creating a positive and comforting bubble around yourself. I know it might sound a little strange, but I encourage you to give it a try. To get you started, I've actually put together 2 playlists specifically designed for sleep. One for my Free Fire fans and another for my fellow cricket lovers. So there you have it, guys. My 5 personal tips for beating insomnia and finally getting a good night's sleep. Remember, everyone is different, so what works for me might not work for everyone, but it's all about finding what works best for you. Keep experimenting and don't give up on the quest for a peaceful slumber. For now though, just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the soothing sounds of nostalgia lull you into a peaceful sleep. Good night, everyone, and sweet dreams.